Hello everyone, my name is Oksana. It's Road to Edoverse Weekly Edoverse Insider the 44th. We deliver the news about the creation of our project Edoverse. And Tokugawa-san, could you please open the session?
Yes, thank you, Oksana. Hello everyone, this is Iehiro Tokugawa. Now, we're approaching the end of the year. Shocking, isn't it? And so, for the next two sessions, I would like to do the wrap-up for this year. It's about the nature of Tokugawa Civilization. I may have touched on this several times, but I would like to condense it a bit. You see, there are several things that are said about Tokugawa Japan all over the world, and also to some extent inside Japan, that are frankly like legends, okay, rather than historical fact. The most important is that whether the Tokugawa ever closed the country, you see, and this you read British or Jewish sources. They're very much in favor of the Meiji Empire. So I mean, British people really call Tokugawa Japan like the Dark Ages. You know, so they still do, and so many fiction they made up. They were sponsoring Imperial Japan to work as their henchmen in East Asia. So that's why there are so many wars, and so we were like a peninsula full of the Gurkha soldiers of Nepal. But anyway, but what information was coming in and foreigners were visiting, not freely, but compared to China, or even more so compared to Korea, we had a much more open system. And most importantly, we were very eager. Well, Tokugawa Japan was very eager to collect information from abroad. All the advanced learnings came in. And also what we should not get wrong is that until about 1800, until about 1800 and possibly up to the Opium War, East Asia was much richer, China in particular, compared to Europe. And in most learnings, China was the most advanced country back then. As well, India was being eaten up by the British, and the Islam world was going downhill for a number of reasons, especially because after Columbus, the Central Asian trade route has lost significance, and that led to the decline of Islamic civilization. Right, so, but at the same time, it is true that no Japanese was allowed to leave the country during Tokugawa times. And so this gives the impression that it was a closed system. But Japan itself during this time was very much open to trade. So much so that, Japan was about to run out of gold circa 1700. So what was the reality is that, you see, Japan had its first total war between 1592 and 1598, immediately before the Tokugawa, by Toyotomi Hideyoshi and his, I call it the Regency government, as he was an imperial regent. And 150,000 Japanese soldiers crossed the Tsushima Strait to fight in Korea. Now, I have mentioned this repeatedly, but as a result, Japanese culture changed. That's more than 1% of the population. So throughout the Tokugawa period, many Japanese men wanted to go abroad to fight. And that's a custom that continued until the 1640s. You know, one Japanese, Yamada Nagamasa, even became like a provincial governor in Thailand, Ayutthaya dynasty back then. And that kind of story would come into Japan, then so many would have wanted to go abroad to fight. And then fight, succeed, get rich, and eventually come back to Japan to become a daimyo. Okay, so which meant that there will never be peace or stability in Japan. So the Tokugawa shogunate had to close the borders, getting out of the country. You see, so all the Japanese commoners were kept in this very managed informational environment, should I say. So, which is not very different from today's Japan. You know, very few Japanese rely on foreign sources for information. And we have very limited imagination about the outside world. It's very much stylized. But this is a tradition, and this is partly because the Japanese state of today has to overcome another major war, the war for the dominance of Asia from 1931 to 1945. Because for many soldiers, we were doing pretty well on the Chinese front. So how to get rid of that memory was the most important theme for the post-war Japanese state. So what I'm trying to say is that maintaining the peace depended on keeping the people inside of Japan. And they were persona non grata all over Asia, which was dominated by Chinese merchants. And trade was very important. So naturally, we could not let Japanese commoners get out of the border. So this is the nature of the so-called policy of insulation or of closing the country. You see, it's not about the regime, but it was more about ordinary Japanese people. They were too ambitious and too violent to let out. So, in a sense, the shogun was like a warden of a huge prison in a way. Okay, and so I think that's enough for today. So thank you very much, and see you next week.
Thank you very much, Tokugawa-san. And next, JJ, could you please join us?
Sure. Thank you, Oksana. Hello, everybody. As you can see, we are facing the winter season in crypto space. All of the crypto holder is disappointed to see the current price moving. And also Binance has maybe some problem of being investigated by US side. The Department of Justice is interested in anti-money laundering or something done in Binance. So they said we would say we could attack Binance, and then a lot of cash outflow realized by Binance side. So the crypto holder is seeing this situation, and then maybe they move a lot of funds to their personal cold wallet. So that I think the price is a little bit moving down and down, and then the market condition looks so bad. But in fact, basically, the funds once came out from SEC side. SEC means centralized exchange. Then no one wants to sell, and then the liquidity is going to be low. Means the price is going to be more stabilized. So we believe that I think this winter season is going to be in that the transition period to be a spring season. And then I think my personal point of view, the spring is coming in 2024 because it's a huge event Bitcoin has. The half depression period, how to say, Hangenki in Japanese. And then after that, after we have Hangenki, then BTC is going to be up. So I think 2024 is going to be the beginning of booming our market condition. So I hope it's going to be settled down. Anyway, even the market condition is bad, we have to create the metaverse and GameFi as well. And currently, we plan kind of basic principles of game. And then I assume that our Edoverse gaming is going to be like MMORPG, which has many types of mini quests, so that a lot of users can enjoy how they can strengthen the character to be more stronger. And then we call it, of course, daimyo. The beginning, we just start with the avatar of Ronin, and then this Ronin is going to be up and up. We're supposed to have 10 types of class from Ronin to daimyo, and then the player can enjoy how they can educate and nurture their avatars by fighting to the enemies or evil spirits or something like that. So I think this gaming is going to be like MMORPG. And also some of the space is going to be mini quests like, I don't know, of course, sumo wrestling or soccer game. But all of those quests is going to be related with the main MMORPG field. So we are going to define what types of gaming is coming in Edoverse within a couple of weeks after we discuss the rules and principles. And also we are really about to launch the product test version 1, so that maybe you can enjoy inside Edoverse. I think this gardening and Edoverse, some spaces just in front of Edo Castle, really amazing, incredible quality. So stay tuned, please. And then I hope we can do as much as we can to, launch our product expansion by this year end. So yeah, that's enough from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, JJ. Yes, everything looks incredible. Like
Thank
me
you.
as well. Like last monthly insider, we have checked the videos. Yes.
Thanks. We will do. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. So Mitsushi, could you please join us?
Okay, thanks. Last Monday, we took part in an event called Web 300 held in Trunk Hotel in Shibuya. I saw a lot of people joining the event. And Kurata-san, Dominic had a presentation about Edoverse. It seemed that a lot of people paid attention to our project because a lot of a lot of crypto projects there didn't have an actual product in place. So we were one of the few project teams that had an actual project at the point at which we showed the high quality visual of avatars and our Edoverse world. A lot of people seem to have got excited about our project. So I think I saw and felt a great harbinger for the future of these projects. And also interestingly, I saw the combination of young entrepreneurs and also experienced veterans from traditional companies in that event. So I think Web 300, that event actually bridged the generation gap between young entrepreneur and experienced veterans from traditional companies. As I think it's very important to focus on not only young crypto people, but also wider range of generations and business people, and also representatives of traditional companies. I think that kind of collaboration is very important. So I think we did a great job to appeal and approach both of the demographics in that event. And also we sort of distributed the pamphlets, leaflets of Edoverse in the venue. A lot of people repeatedly ask a lot of questions about Edoverse. So it is great that we can have that sort of crypto collaboration with different kinds of projects. Moreover, a lot of companies announced that they would sort of eventually develop Metaverse projects, but many companies don't have an actual product and service to show to other people. But we have many materials already. So I think it's great that we started development much earlier compared to other competitors and companies. So we have great advantages right now. I think that kind of sort of actual visual material is our strengths and weapons that we can leverage to further accelerate our growth in the market. That's what I felt at the event. So we'd like to sort of further take advantage of this kind of opportunity to accelerate the project. That's what I felt. That's all from me today. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mitsushi. And I know Trunk Hotel in Tokyo is a very popular place for NFT.
True.
Like people from Metaverse and NFT collectors. Like there are a lot of like parties and events like going on there. Like yeah. Yes. Great news. And Dominique, could you please sum up today's session?
Yep, thank you. Yeah, we attended Web 300, the big event in Trunk Hotel in Shibuya last week. Many people came, actually. Yeah, as you mentioned. And then, yeah, our project must be really paid attention, I hope. Yeah. But our project is actually really now to realize and also very with high speed. Last week, monthly insider, and we announced, and after that, we launched the Unreal Engine 5 in the Edo Castle grounds in public. And before that, actually, we just only launched just for the whitelist address members. But I believe that many people just checked the teaser of Unreal Engine 5 Edoverse. That was really beautiful. And also, I think we will launch very soon that Unreal Engine 5 Edoverse landscape with avatar. And that's also, I think you can check the movements of avatars and also how realistic they are. That's really great, actually. And then we will see that in alpha versions, that you can just get into the Edoverse as avatar, but in this is the alpha version that's not in the public. But now I'm really looking forward. Just we see it really sort of exciting. Yeah, so game just this is very early stage, but it's going to be very good actually. And then we now in the progress of the land NFT sale and katanas. And then just for the notice that for katanas, only one address can buy only 50 katanas. And the people just at the little realize that if just somebody want to just buy more than 50 katanas for one account, that it's going to be stuck. Yeah. So please change your address and wallet address, and then buy more katanas. That's going to be very, very precious. And we have a lot of ideas, as Gigi mentioned, about games. And then there are a lot of discussions at many different kind of games that actually we just try to make it. And then some of those are launched probably in the end of next year. So and also before we do that Metaverse game in Edoverse in end of next year. Before we do it, we're going to just offer you as many kind of interesting games just on a realistic term, just with the real and the digitals. And that is actually, as I just mentioned, the Tokugawa hidden treasure, just finding Tokugawa hidden treasures. That'll be very exciting too, because this is connected with all the regions of nationwide Japan. You can just you can travel to the region, any kind of region that you might find a Tokugawa hidden treasure, and then you get a treasure. Probably I think it's a lot of commons in your wallets. Yeah. And I hope that I want to just find it too. But that project will start next year. And then please go somewhere just in Japan, and then you can just find it's a great treasure. And then we have a lot of regional branches actually in Edo City. Is called a Han. It is a daimyo mansion. So we have a lot of events in the daimyo mansion in the future, just to promote the region in Japan too. And then we now everybody actually might be very sleepy because of the World Cup. Just finals actually taking place the last night until 3 a.m. in Japanese Japanese time. It's actually we made a partnership with Edo United, which is actually still the J7 team that we are just supporting it. And then we're going to just make the soccer stadium in Tsukiji areas. It's going to be a very big stadium, soccer stadium. And the Edo United is a real team of the soccer team, professional team, is the home ground will be in Edoverse. That'll be also very exciting. And then we're going to just make a lot of rules about dojo in Ryogoku is actually Konishiki will be actually called by Konishiki as an ambassador. We have a lot of sort of connection. The many things are going to happen just in Edoverse in the futures, even just in our real games before the real game starts. So please just wait for the next year that you will see the many games and also many exciting events in Edoverse. Yeah. Please wait for that, and thank you. Thank you for just the listening. This year's. I think this is the end of towards the end of the years. I think I'm very happy that we are now just coming. We are now just realizing so far. Yeah, it's very sort of beautiful landscape now. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Tamik. Yes, it was very like the year full of events, like the birth of Edoverse and the project. And yes, thank you everybody for listening and supporting us. Like Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. And goodbye. We will meet next week, I suppose.
Yeah, next week.
Yes, next week. Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.